Hi, it's Jack Malcolm, and this is part two in my series on sales professionalism. In part one, I talked about what do sales professionals know. In this part, I want to talk about what do sales professionals care about. Now, the short answer is more than yourself. Every profession cares about two things: customers and the integrity of the profession. Sales is no different, although caring about your customers might put you under a little bit more pressure than some of the other professions because you also owe a loyalty to your employer to generate revenue and to generate profits for your employer. But when they come in conflict, and sometimes they will over the short term, I truly believe that you need to put the needs and the interests of the customer first. So for example, if your employer is pressuring you to push a product on a customer at the end of the quarter and you know that the customer doesn't need it, what happens if you go out there and tell the customer that they don't need it and maybe they should even buy from the competition? Now, you have to be careful on how you do it, but if you do this, you're actually going to benefit the customer, of course, but you're also going to benefit yourself, and believe it or not, you're going to benefit your employer as well. Let's talk about what happens. If you tell them to go and buy something from the competition, what do you lose? You lose a sale. But what do you gain? You gain a tremendous amount of trust and credibility, and that's going to pay off in the long run. It's going to pay off in shorter sales cycles. It's going to pay off in that customer buying more from you. It's going to pay off in that customer referring more business to you. So it's good for your customer, it's good for you, and it's actually good for your employer because you do end up selling more. And besides, in this age when we're all so socially connected, your employer truly cares about their reputation. And this is a fantastic way to preserve your reputation, and not putting the needs and the interests of the customer first is a very quick way to ruin a company reputation in the long run. So by putting the needs and interests of the customer first, you're helping everybody involved in the process. So doing the right thing for your customer pays off in those tangibles I just mentioned, but it also pays off in a huge intangible. And that intangible is your personal self-respect and the pride that you have in your profession. And that brings us to the second thing that every sales professional should care about: the pride and integrity of their own profession. Even though we don't have a standards body like the American Bar Association to enforce that integrity. In fact, especially because sales doesn't have a standards body to enforce that integrity, every salesperson needs to take personal responsibility to enforce it themselves. It's unfortunate, but we all know that salespeople have a very low reputation in society today, and it's well earned, unfortunately, because of the standards of a lot of salespeople. So if you and I take responsibility for maintaining certain professional standards and personal integrity, maybe we can get rid of some of the old jokes and some of the comments that are made about salespeople, and maybe over time it'll become self-reinforcing. So what do you care about? You care about professional standards. You care about giving your absolute best in every customer transaction and giving your absolute best to your career over time. It's a level of consistent quality that your customers can come to rely on. It's also about personal integrity. And I'm not going to jump on a soapbox here, but the minute that you do something that you know is wrong for your customer or you know is dishonest, you've totally destroyed any semblance of professionalism you have. Let me just close by putting into perspective why it's important to care about your customers and about the integrity of your profession. Sales is one of the toughest jobs there is. You have to work really hard and you deal with rejection all the time. But when you truly care about your customers, you truly care about the integrity of your profession, it elevates what you do to something that has meaning and it has purpose. And that makes you better at what you do. It makes it easier to do what you do, and it makes it better for you, it makes it better for your customers, and it makes it better for your employer.